Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. So over the last few weeks, I had a pretty cool experience that transpired that I want to share with you. And it was completely unexpected, but for me at least, it really showed the beauty that is the power of music. I'm going to dive into that here in just a bit, but if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Also leave a comment, hit like. All those things help support my channel, and of course I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, the power of music is something I think everyone has experienced at one time or another. You know, whether you're a fan or you're actually a band member, but as a fan, listening to your favorite bands, how the music moves us, seeing the bands live, or even having experiences like meeting the band, getting an autograph, taking a photo, even getting that coveted guitar pick maybe from them. Or as a musician where you get to create your own art, getting that music out into the world, having people hear that creation, and then getting the feedback from the fans is that two-way street back and forth. So for me at least, the power of music is very strong. It goes both ways, and it is something that so many people have shared in that I think is such a beautiful thing. Now, a couple of weeks ago, out of the blue, I got an email, and I didn't think much of it because when it arrived, it was just a link in the body. It didn't say anything. And if I hadn't really looked at it very closely, I wouldn't have seen that it was from, or potentially from, a group that I grew up with called Uncle Sally. And they're a local band, or were a local band, from the Florida, the Tampa Bay area where I was from when I was growing up. And, you know, being a fan of that band, of course, you know, I got very excited when I saw that and everything. And of course, I clicked on it and it took me to an eBay page where the lead vocalist and guitarist was now selling a newish CD. In fact, it's this one right here called Made in America. It was put out in 2017, but I think it was something newly that he was listing on eBay at the time. And so I thought, hey, pretty cool, and I went ahead and ordered it. But to sort of show you that me being a fan of that band, originally back in the day, and remember they were a local band, so they put out demos and things, and in the late 80s, early 90s, they had this cassette here, an EP called Tending the Flock. No CDs at that time. And later on, this self-titled EP here that came out. And eventually by 1993, they did get a CD out called World of Hurt. And when I talked about this band a couple weeks back during New Music Now and New Music Finds, a couple of you guys weighed in, even pointing out that you had thought maybe I was talking about this same band here, which in fact I am. And so, you know, very big fan of the band and so forth. And they're an interesting group in that they sort of bridged the current genres that were going on at the time. There was, you know, the glam metal of the late 80s, early 90s that then changed into alternative rock and grunge and so forth. And I think they were one of those bands that actually straddled between both of those. Kind of the way Saigon Kick did. You couldn't really put a finger on what type of music they were, but they were just sort of great music that worked no matter whether you were a fan of either one. For me, Uncle Sally was that sort of band. And you know, at the time at least, you know, looking for stuff like that, you know, reaching out to Jeff Dreyer, to the band, asking about additional things and whatnot. Eventually I ran across this in 1997 where the band members, minus Jeff, had continued on as Orbit Orange. And so just very cool having 4 things from a band that I grew up with that I liked. And again, they were not signed to a major label and stuff like that, but very cool. So I always enjoyed that and whatnot. And when the package arrived and came, I filmed a New Music Now episode, as I had mentioned, and I unboxed on the air this CD, the one that I'd previously shown you there. So Made in America, 2 CD set, just a compilation discography of stuff that they had put out. It actually put a number of things from these cassettes onto CD for the first time, so that was very cool. And even there's some stuff on there that I hadn't seen, and so for me at least, owning all that I owned, it made it very cool to get that. When I opened the package, Jeff had also included this, a compilation album of his, some solo stuff, and I was very stoked to get that because it wasn't something that I had specifically reached out about purchasing. It was the Uncle Sally. And you know what? I didn't think too much of it at that point. Just cool to get it. I was glad to finally have something, and I thought, hey, that's kind of it. But as I mentioned, I posted the New Music Now video. A couple days later, I see a comment on there from none other than Jeff Dyer. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool, man. You know, this guy's reaching out to thank me for plugging his band and so forth. And I'm thinking, how the heck did he even find this video? Because it wasn't like I had tagged Uncle Sally specifically in there or anything, or held anything up that would show it. So I'm just kind of, you know, a little dumbfounded by it. But I thought, wow, this is just very cool. You know, I always like those little moments, you know, where you're sort of rock heroes and stuff tune into little old me, you know, on YouTube. And again, I thought, hey, that was great. I commented back and I thanked him and so forth. And I thought, again, that was it. And so, being pretty much the end of things, not much in mind until this arrives in the mail yesterday. And immediately on here, I could see that it came from Jeff Dyer. And again, not knowing what the heck this could be because I hadn't ordered anything new. I had already gotten that bonus CD with the first order that I had placed in there. But when I opened it up, I found this inside there, this letter. And I'd like to read this to you. So bear with me and please listen to the whole letter. I think it's got a very moving, touching point to it here. And so it's just a typewritten letter. It says, Brendan, a few weeks ago, I was searching for an email contact on my Hotmail account. In the process, I ran across an email from somebody, you, asking if Uncle Sally had any CDs available. The email correspondence was from 2011. Because I had recently listed our latest release on eBay, I decided to copy the link and email it to that email address from 12 years ago. I really had no expectations one way or the other. Consequently, a few days later, you purchased the CD from eBay. Lo and behold, a couple days ago, I got an anonymous email from somebody from California indicating that you had talked about Uncle Sally on your YouTube channel. This person wanted to know where he could purchase the CD as well. Shortly thereafter, 2 other people also inquired, and all 3 of them had purchased the CD from eBay because of your generosity in speaking so highly of Uncle Sally. I just wanted to thank you for the free promotion. It's quite incredible how the power of a voice one can have from a YouTube channel reaching people from all over the world. Uncle Sally is no longer performing, and for the most part is just a memory. None of us are getting any younger, and my goal has been to try to preserve the legacy and keep the music and moving forward for those who have not been exposed to it before. That's the beauty of music. It never gets old, those that have never experienced it before. It's a clever way to live on even after you're gone. Music keeps going. Anyway, please accept these very rare drink coasters as a token of my appreciation for the nice plug you gave us. Not only did 3 additional people purchase the CD, but I can only imagine that the 2,500 or so of your viewers may have also visited our website or perhaps watched some Uncle Sally videos on YouTube and perhaps press the thumbs up button. Thank you again for your interest in our band so many years after the fact. It means a lot. Signed, Jeff Dyer, 2023, and has his email on it. And I have to say that that letter also meant a lot to me. And it wasn't so much that he had included these 4 drink coasters, and as he says, custom made, because it's not like they were a signed band or anything. So going out and getting something like this made is pretty cool. And I don't know whether they sold these at shows or it might have even been a gift to him. But very cool, something I had never seen. And with such little music and so forth, I would never expect to get something like that. And it just was something that was very touching to me. So as Jeff said, my interest in his band meant a lot. But Jeff, this letter to me really meant a lot. And it's that sort of two-way street that happened here between me getting something, him reaching back so far from 2011 and responding 12 years later on it, and me still having the love in that band that 12 years later, I was shocked and excited and enjoyed getting that. And the little bit of back and forth that there was just sort of kept building and building. And to me, really showing that love, that the not only inspiring of others to go out and search the band, but just showing how people can share from one to another, and it grows and it grows and it grows, really showing the power of music. And so in case you want to search out Jeff and inquire about any of his music like Uncle Sally, I will leave a link right here. I'll also leave a link in the description and you could go check him out. But I want you guys definitely to go out, Have a good time and remember the amazing quality that is the power of music. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. It certainly meant a lot to me to be able to share it with you and just sort of express that cool back and forth and interaction that can happen in music, not only amongst fans, but amongst musicians and amongst the fans and musicians. So take care, have a good one, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye, everyone.